Hi, how's it going? It's Ken from Breathe Better Salt Rooms. I'm here to talk about eczema and salt therapy. Now, eczema and salt therapy is pretty much the same as salt therapy for the airways, like sinusitis or asthma or bronchitis, or any of those respiratory conditions, in that the salt, the minute particles of salt, are there to draw out inflammation from that area. Now, however, the big difference is that as you wear, eczema is quite visible. On the skin, it's quite visible for people to see the process or lack of process, or the seeming lack of process, I should say. I say that because with salt therapy, as you know, the skin comes in layers. The eczema doesn't just sit on top, on the surface of the skin. It actually runs deep down through all the skin layers. So the process of salt therapy is that the minute particles of salt, when it lands on the skin, draws that inflammation out. And as it's drawing it out through the skin layers, on the surface, it looks like it's getting worse. It looks like it's getting redder and redder. And the area it affects seems to be getting wider and wider. And that obviously is going to be disconcerting for your client. So it needs a lot of reassurances. In fact, the first protocol is actually the consultation, the initial consultation before they go into salt therapy, where you're establishing what their problems are, what their conditions and symptoms are, and how widespread it is, and to guide them and go over how, over the period of time of salt therapy, as it draws the salt draws the inflammation through the skin layers, on the surface it'll actually get redder and redder and look worse. So in some extreme cases, some pus will appear at the point of at the focal point of the eczema. So it requires a lot of the consultation to explain that process, and then during that period of salt therapy, they need to be reassured about the process, because the person who's going through this salt therapy with eczema, they're going to have a lot of their friends and family giving them feedback. Oh, you look a lot worse. Oh, are you sure it's working? Look, I don't think it's working. And they're going to get a lot of backlash, a lot of negative feedback about it. So it'll affect their confidence in the process. It'll affect how often they come in. They'll lack the confidence and the faith in the actual process, because it's all, from their perspective, it's almost like a leap of faith. But the process is quite straightforward. The salt will draw that inflammation out, and it's almost like a flush. It'll draw the natural hydration to the skin layers behind that inflammation, and so drive that inflammation out. It's still not a cure for eczema, but it's a great way of managing the symptoms on a long-term scale. All right, hope that helps. Let's see you next time. Bye.